It's red left switch, Z right, sprint right G, U corner, halfback flat. Nice and easy, let's walk it, here we go.
Okay, it's another film breakdown here on the O-Line Committee YouTube channel. If you're new, click that subscribe button and the like button. We got Jeremiah Sirles, 6 years in the NFL trenches. Our guy Alex Boone also joins most of these, 10-plus years in the NFL trenches. And the Steelers are formidable, and we're going to break it down here, Jay.
Man, to talk about the balls, 3 weeks ago, we were talking about how the making the switch from Justin Fields to Russell Wilson after a 4-2 start, the cojones that takes to do. And Mike Tomlin said, that's why they compensate me well. And, man, He has been spot on. Russell looks like old school Russell. He's got the moon ball. He's got George Pickens looking like DK Metcalf. They have got it all figured out. I mean, I feel like at times I'm watching the old Seahawks offense.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
And like run first, Najee Harris, big back, starting up front, and then just the deep over the top shots to your big bodied receiver. It's what Russell does well. It's what Sean Payton didn't do with Russell. Right. Mike Tomlin goes, all right, let's just do what you did well in Seattle and just put you in a situation that helps.
It is hilarious when you look at like Russell Wilson's passing charts. It's like there's a lid over the middle of the field.
He won't do it.
But if it's outside the numbers and deep, or outside the hashes to the numbers and deep, he is. And that's what you're going to see here. We're going to click play here, and you'll see some of the big key plays on offense. We'll also show you a few of the big plays on defense, and you guys getting the offensive line getting a rookie to jump to ice the game. So let's roll some tape here. Russell Wilson looking good in that Steelers uniform.
Well, we're going to start right in the red zone, right? Red zone offense is way more challenging than people realize because everything is condensed, right? The blitz gets home quicker. You got to get things out of your hand faster, and you really just have to give your guys chances to win in the end zone. And this is just George Pickens being a freak show, right? So it starts with Russell with the identification. He sees the blitz, right? So immediately he sees 4 walk up there. He comes up and he changes the play and he changes the protection to let's make sure we all get picked up here, right? Everyone gets picked up. Boom. 5-man pressure. Everyone's picked up. That is what is different between, if you try and slide into that or what, and you miss communication. It all starts with the communication up front. Because if you let a blitzer go free in the red zone, you're talking out of field goal range, everything. But Russell checks the play. Knows he's got one on cover.
What are these guys saying to each other here? Left guard.
Well, right now, Isaac's just looking back because he's the trigger man, right? He's the trigger man. So he sees the finger. He taps Frazier, right? So it's on the double count. Boom. He comes up. Russell sees, okay, it's going to be a 5-man pressure, which means that there's probably going to be one-on-one coverage across the board. He changes the route to the route combination that he wants. He gets the protection lined up. They snap it. Boom. Okay. He scans the field. He looks immediately, where's my guy? Where's Pickens? There he is. Look at that pocket, too. I mean, that's a great pocket. Everyone's lined up here. You got McCormick and Frazier, 2 rookies, right? 2 rookies at center and right guard hanging in there. And then he just delivers one of those moon balls, as Chris Collinsworth would say, and Pickens just goes up and gets it.
Pickens is a beast.
Dude, no one's happier that Russell Wilson is the quarterback than George Pickens.
Yeah, it's like 5 balls a game that are just down the field, one-on-one. So, okay, let's take a look at the Steelers' defense here. Terrorizing Jaden Daniels.
It all starts with the pressure off the edges. Alex Highsmith, TJ Watt. I think before every snap, they look at each other and go, race to the quarterback. Right? Like, who's going to get there first? Because both those dudes just come off the edge with absolute ferocity.
Look how wide these guys are.
Wide tilt, man. Wide tilts. As a tackle, you're going, oh, God, I got to get out there. I got to get out there. I got to get out there. Right? And the tackles both take pretty good sets, but they're like carbon copy moves. Highsmith hits with the 2-hand swipe. He gets around 74, shoulders turned right away. Right? I think that's Coleman there at left tackle. First of all, he's laid off the ball. If you're laid off the ball against Alex Highsmith, you're pretty much dead to rights here. Right, so immediately the edges are collapsing. And then watch big 97 in here. Big old man, Cam Hayward, dad strength. Excuse me, little boy. Long arm bull rush, straight to the inside shoulder. And this is just weight room strength. You're going to go that way, and I'm going to sack you, Jaden Daniels, with one hand. Get over here. I mean, but all that starts, look, and Highsmith knows it. Like Highsmith knows those wide rushers when they're set up like that is to keep Jaden Daniels contained, right? You don't want this guy getting out of the pocket. Keanu Benton does a nice job, but Biotish does a nice job shutting him down. But once you keep them tight right here, right, Jaden Daniels has nowhere to escape besides to step up. And when you step up and Cam Hayward's playing the way he's playing, man, this pass rush for the Steelers is vicious. Even though they lost Highsmith, and that's really going to hurt them, still absolutely vicious.
Could you see? I mean, right now the AFC, obviously the Chiefs are still undefeated. The Ravens have lost 3 games, but 0-2
still a
start.
powerhouse.
They're on fire. That offense, their defense a little shaky, but that offense is a powerhouse. And then the Bills, I think the Bills are just kind of in the same spot they've been in for like 5 years, which is they're awesome and they have 1 box to check here in January. But dude, I could see, I don't think they're favorites, but I could see the Steelers, especially if they could somehow win that division, which they're a game up right now. I could see them being really tough to beat. Deep passes, Russell Wilson, that defense, if they can play a home game or two.
That if they can get home field advantage, no one's going to want to go to Pittsburgh week 1 of the playoffs. Nobody. Right? Nobody's going to want to go up there and play with the terrible towels and Renegade and the whole bit, right? And Russell Wilson with the playoff experience, Mike Tomlin with Super Bowl experience, tons of super power on defense. Defense wins championships and wins playoff games. Not what you want to see.
So he's alerting again here.
Again, Russell Wilson in full command, right? He motions over. He sees the angles here. So this is going to be duo. The angles could not be better on duo here, right? So duo is 2 double teams at the point of attack. It's essentially power without the puller, right? So you get, look at that. I don't even have to show you. You know what duo is now, Mac. God, we're teaching you.
And then are we guard bouncing up to the linebackers?
It's you just vertical dent, and whichever way this linebacker decides he wants to go, the other person comes off.
Okay.
Right. So 2 vertical dents here. So you got I think that's Troy Fontenot at left tackle, the first round pick. And then Isaac Suamalu. And then you've got, again, the 2 rookies on the right side. So right there, Bobby Wagner pulls the trigger. He sees that A gap get real big. Bobby Wagner pulls the trigger. Isaac slides off. They do a really nice thing on the backside here. They exchange the tight ends. So the point of attack's great. But watch, so historically what happens here is usually it's just, hey, 80 will go block out, and then 81 will fill up. But they exchange it here to make it look a little passy to this guy here, right? So normal blocking assignment here historically would be 80, the guy on the left just blocks out, right? And then 87 would go through and fill, right? But just this little wrinkle where they release Washington to come up, that nickel just freezes for half a second thinking, maybe this is play action. Right, see how he's not filling.
He's following him.
See how he's not filling the gap that's wide open right now.
Yeah.
Right, that's just a little tiny wrinkle because he's locked in on man coverage. He's thinking, oh, this is a deep over route, and then there's where the seam creates. Right, it's not a crazy scheme change, but just that tiny little bit of that switch really can mess with the defense's eyes. Good job, Arthur Smith. There's some flowers for you,
dude. Arthur Smith. I feel like his reputation is on the mend
for now.
Look at this.
Vintage.
Just a nice, easy little, where's your outlet? There it is.
Right, so it's not always going to be perfect. Right, protection's not always going to be perfect. Russ goes across. Again, a lot of motion, pre-snap motion in this game. They come across here.
Yeah, so what are we, so this pre-snap motion, does
so
this tell
you can go to the wide again.
Does this tell you it's man because he's following?
Yep. So, right, little pre-snap motion, bring your guy across. Oh, he's walking with him. Okay, it's man coverage, not zone, right? Go to a 3-by-1 set here. You see the linebackers getting a little excited. The O-line recognizes, right? Communication. You've got everyone pointing. Okay, here, we know what's coming. Boom, here comes a 6-man pressure. Everyone's got to be involved, right? You've got all 5 O-linemen plus the running back, but this is a great vet move by Warren. Watch Warren here, the back. Right, so they've got it all locked up. Everyone's communicating. Everyone's pointing out where they need to go.
Right? Yeah, because ordinarily the back would, to make the math work, the back would have to stay in and pick somebody up, right?
Right, because there's only 5 guys here. So right here, McCormick takes the first one, right? So it's a cross dog over here. It's a cross dog in the A and the B gap, and usually it's cross dog in both A's. We're super used to seeing that. But this is just kind of a switch cross dog. We're going to switch the A and the B gap. So McCormick's job is to take the first one, right? So he takes number 1. He kind of gets lost here, but Warren, instead of taking number 2, just quick slips him. Right? Just a quick slip. Right here. Hey, get my head around. Russell sees it, dumps it to him. No one's there. Right?
Wow.
The person that has Warren in man coverage is the blitzer. That's who has the running back. But you assume when you send 6 that the running back's going to stay in. And so that's just a really veteran play by Warren and Russell being able to know where my answers are when they send too many.
I love that. So that's chess right there, huh?
That's chess. That's a I don't know if Justin Fields sees that.
Because if he pick is Russ communicating, like, is that communicated, or is that just Warren making a veteran play on the
I think
fly?
that's Warren just like, oh, I might have missed him, right? It might have been I missed him, or it might have been planned. It's one of those that we won't know.
Yeah.
But either way, Russell knew where he was and dumped it right to him, and he's the unguarded man.
By the way, I don't know where that goes. Let's watch the routes play out here. If Warren stays in,
if they block this all up, they have really good man coverage across the board.
So let's say he stays in.
Fryermuth's locked up.
Yeah, where do you go here, man? I guess
probably Pickens down here breaking on the deep out on the deep comeback or the deep out. I'm not sure which one he's running there. Right, but he slips. Right, so Russell just dumps it. 20-yard gain.
Beautiful.
And the face mask.
Tack it on.
Tack it up.
Tack it right on.
So now they go empty. Right? So now they go empty. Doink.
And then, of course, this machine of a human.
Dude, he's a freak.
An
show.
extra
I remember watching
15 yards.
I remember watching him at Georgia. Just absolute freak show. Right? So they've been blitzing. Right? So they've been blitzing a lot. And so when you go empty, the great thing about empty is the defense has to show their hand. There's too much space to defend when you have that many receivers split out. Right? And again, a great pocket. Know where you want to find your one-on-one matchup. 1 missed tackle, 2 missed tackles.
Should have been down at the 26.
Yep.
There he is inside the 15. Yeah, it's literally
3 missed tackles.
15 extra yards.
Three missed tackles after that. And then the excitement. Right? And look at all the linemen running down there too.
There's some juice here, man. There's
some serious juice in Pittsburgh right now.
Mike Tomlin, he's a culture builder. I guess I don't have the full temperature like on the ground in Pittsburgh. Hasn't won a playoff game in 8 years or whatever it's been. So there is some pressure to make an actual run here at some point. Look at 66.
McCormick, man, that's my guy. I loved him coming out of college. Coming out of South Dakota State, 4th rounder, kind of got thrown in there because of some injuries and playing good ball. They go a heavy set here, right? So they bring the extra O lineman in, right? So you've got 6 O linemen in the game here, 77, and then Washington essentially is another O lineman. The dude's like 290 pounds, right? And they just run power, right? So everyone goes down. 83 releases, which again, just some eye candy, right? He releases for the edge man on the line of scrimmage. He goes through. It causes this guy to widen because he has him in man coverage, the defender over him. And then here comes 66.
So basically,
80 and 77.
We're blocking down here.
So 80 and 77 are double teaming to the single linebacker.
Okay.
Right? So those two guys are double teaming to the single linebacker.
This dude's pulling the linebacker
this guy's arcing
this way.
This guy's arcing for the end man on the line of scrimmage, Hayward, 83.
And then McCormick.
And then he's pulling for the first linebacker. Right? And so you see the double team at the point of attack. It's a great job. Boom. Washington caves it down, climbs up on the linebacker. That dude widens. McCormick pulls nice and tight. Walk-in touchdown.
Easy.
Walk-in. That's a talented Washington front now, too. They've been playing some good ball.
All right, here we go. Washington near midfield. They were trying to get cute here.
I think it was supposed to be a throwback.
Oh man!
Like if you watch Jaden watch Jaden Daniels, right? So I think this is a backward pass to start. No, it's not. It's a forward pass. Never mind. Because it looks like they're trying to maybe go then backwards pass back to Jaden.
Well, these guys are all ready for.
So I mean, Alex Highsmith sniffs this out immediately. Right? Again, disciplined football.
Well, you could still throw it backwards. Like
that's what I mean. I think this is now they want to go lateral back to Jaden Daniels here, right? Because you see the O lineman releasing out that way. So then, but Alex Highsmith,
right.
Alex Highsmith sniffs this out immediately, and that's a good job of him not trying to force something. but that's just disciplined Steeler football, right? I wouldn't try and get cute against the Steelers. Like I really wouldn't try and get cute against the Steelers. Hello, Alex. Welcome to the show.
Oh, Booney's in. Booney's in the house. Can you hear us, Alex Boone? I don't think he can.
Nope,
Let's put it. We'll put him back in the green room.
We'll put him back in the green room.
Yeah, I got it. So okay, Steelers ball again near midfield. We're having some Alex Boone technical difficulties. Look at this. This is a drop in the bucket.
That is. I mean, I felt like a flashback watching this game. Like I really did. Russell's getting better every single week. He's looking more comfortable every single week. Again, they blitz and they pick it up. This is great communication up front by a rookie center, right? Zach Frazier is a rookie out of West Virginia. Look at the communication. Everyone's talking. You're on the road. It's a loud environment. Everyone's talking. Everyone's communicating. Russell's getting to checks, right? Russell's checking things. They're all making sure everyone's on the same page. Hey, number 4 is our point. Number 4 is our point. When they send 5 and you guess right as no lineman, it allows the back to get out in coverage or get out in the route, right? He's now a security check down blanket for Russ. And then he picks his one-on-one matchup, and guess who?
Look at that.
George Pickens.
This would be such a fun way for Russ to end his career.
Oh, yeah.
If he snagged a second Super Bowl, he was on a Hall of Fame trajectory when he left Seattle.
I would say 2 years, just 2 years ago.
Yeah. Like, I would even argue if he retires before going to Denver, just kind of retires early, I think his Super Bowl chance or his Hall of Fame chances are better than they are right now at this moment. I think the couple years in Denver and then being a backup to start this year, in my opinion, have dinged his.
Does he get comeback player of the year even though he wasn't hurt?
He could. Yeah, he could. Look at this, by the way. This is vintage, man.
So this is desperation time for the Commanders. Right? We have not been able to get home. He's been picking us apart. Let's look at it's an exotic look. Right? You've got 3 D linemen and 2 linebackers. Right? So 1,
these are the down.
2, 92 is the down. 4 and 54 are your linebackers.
Yeah.
Right? So the offensive line just goes, hey, 5-0. Right? 5-0. We'll just take the 5-0. So they run a really good twist game over here, which tricks the rookie center. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
So the 5-0 here would be, to start with, the center on 54, the guard here, and then tackle out here.
Yep.
Right? This is the 5-0.
Yeah, and then the back's got anyone else, right? Anything that comes off any edge or up the middle, right? And so Bobby Wagner sells this really well, pressing up the field to the left and then planting his foot in the ground and coming around. And look, so much space over there. I mean, this isn't good. That's not what you want. And Isaac, you can't get crease across your face, but they get just enough of him for Russell fading away. Again, when they send 5, it's man coverage. Know where my 5 are, drop in the bucket, attack the weak points. That's veteran, vintage Russell Wilson. Oh boy, not good, right? But he slides in the pocket, doesn't panic, and delivers a strike.
He knows his answers. It's dirty, man. And then here we go.
God.
So it's 4th and 1. And you could either go for it and ice the game if you get it. If you don't get it, you could also punt, I guess.
Here, go back to before they broke the huddle. Let's watch the Commanders. Let's see if they're communicating earmuffs at all. So I'm screaming at my television at home, earmuffs, earmuffs, earmuffs. And my wife's like, what are you talking about? I go, you have to remind these dumb defensive linemen that you can't listen to anything on 4th and 1. All you can do is key that ball.
There's
right?
no earmuffs.
I don't see anyone saying earmuffs. Like, everyone should be screaming earmuffs. And so they come up here, they get ready to go, and what happens? Russell Wilson pulls an Aaron Rodgers. Hut, hut, hut. And the rookie out of Illinois, who's going to be a great player. Newton's going to be a great player in this league. They get him. And look at the excitement. Look at everyone just so juiced. Russell's dancing.
Doing his little jig
Russell's
right there.
dancing. You got McCormick. You've got high five slapping games over. I mean, the sideline's going nuts. That's an pan to the scoreboard.
Dude, Mike Tomlin was the best. It doesn't show up on the All-22 here. It does on the TV broadcast. But they cut to Mike Tomlin, and they show a close-up, and he goes, got him, with the eyes wide open, rips the headset off. So here's the end zone.
You can't do it. It's just an unexcusable. You just can't do it. It's a rookie mistake, right? Everyone's juiced. McCormick's juiced. Frazier's juiced. Everyone's juiced. Najee Harris is like, what are you doing? Can't do that. But again, and you see people tapping Newton on the head because they know he's a rookie and he's going to be a very good player in this league. But small issues and small mistakes at end of big games cost you games.
Yeah, that was like, but you know what? I would say in today's NFL, it wouldn't have shocked me if they snapped that ball and tried to get the yard to end the game. So no, it's harder for defenses now than it was like 10 years ago. Like 10 years ago, no one ever goes for it in those situations. Now you got Dan Campbell, you got these crazy head coaches that are just psychotically going for it on, compared to the history of football.
Right.
So it's tough because you got to be prepared. If they snap it, they only need a yard.
Right.
It's a really hard position to be in because it's not as simple as, well, I'll just assume they're not going to snap it and sit there but
earmuffs. Got to key the ball. Earmuffs.
So the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're sitting here, one of the best records in the NFL, prime position, Mike Tomlin pushing all the right buttons, and it's going to be, I think the league is just more entertaining in November and December when the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's a Sunday night game. Chris Collinsworth is drooling all over.
Just slobbering over the moon ball.
So, all right, if you enjoyed this breakdown here, click that subscribe button and the like button. This is the O-Line Committee.